Welcome back, guys. It's Matthew from BDM Equipment, and today we're going to talk about the Woodmaxx WM8H hydraulic wood chipper, 8-inch capacity and PTO driven. So this is what we have mounted up on the Kioti behind us. We'll talk about a few of the features, and first and foremost we're going to talk a little bit about mounting it up. So in mounting up the standard 3-point, one important thing is before you couple the lower 3-point, go ahead and hook up the PTO. So you get the PTO shaft, you've got a sliding coupler sleeve for the lock. So you're basically going to pull this in towards you, slide it onto the splines. Once you have that done, go ahead and hook up your lower 3-point, and then use, if you have the hydraulics turned on, the upper 3-point cylinder, go ahead and extend and retract that as necessary to hook it up. Once you have it hooked up, you can go ahead and raise it up, and you can hook up your safety chains for the PTO. This is just a protective sleeve to make sure nothing can get wrapped around the actual shaft, which is on the inside of the PTO shaft sleeve. So with that, once you have it, raise it up and then use your side links to go ahead and tighten it up so there's no lateral left and right movement and swaying. It is a pretty heavy unit, so that way when you're driving the tractor, it's not going to sway left and right. It weighs over 1,000 pounds. So with that, a couple of the basic features. It is a PTO driven wood chipper with a self-contained hydraulic system. So essentially the PTO drives a hydraulic pump. You can see here's the hydraulic reservoir down here. The hydraulic pump is located up inside this unit, and it's belt driven. You can see it up underneath there. So you essentially, with this tractor, it's a 40 horse Kioti. It has about 34 horsepower at the PTO. So you have a 34 horsepower hydraulic system, which is fantastic. That is similar to, say, a 34 horsepower skid steer that weighs about 5,000 pounds. So it gives you a lot of capacity, a lot of power. So with that, the hydraulic pumps come over to a hydraulic valve. And this unit has the hydraulic feed system, which is incredibly useful. So this upper drive motor here actually drives, you can see the large gears up inside there, kind of has big metal teeth, and that's for the feed system, which is hydraulically activated. So to control the speed of the feed, you're going to loosen this thumb switch and you'll slide this one way or the other. So there's slowest and there's fastest. Oftentimes have it at about the 3 or 4 to get the proper size wood chips and not to overburden the system, but that changes how fast the system is feeding the branches into the actual wood chipper. So other than that, this is your master forwards and backwards. So in this position forward, that is in the reverse position. It's pushing things back out the feed ramp, and of course the safety bar is hooked up right here. So in the normal position, you have neutral, you have reverse, and feed is back towards you. So when you're standing here, you're going to pull that back. In the event of any emergency, this is not a man-eating machine like the large diesel-powered tow-behind wood chippers, but still, if something were bound up in there and you needed a safety to get this to stop, you would just press this down. In doing so, it's pushing the valve to the reverse position. It's going to push everything back out. Again, you also have, you can see the big feed roller up inside there. That's going to be rotating, basically to pull forward all of the material. It's got an 8-inch opening, 8-inch wide, tapered. And really what that gives you the ability to do is feed a lot of things that are, say, in the 2, 3, 4-inch range with branches, and maybe some like we have with the ponderosas here. Here's a good 2 to 3-inch branch, but you start getting these nubs, and those take up extra space. So having that bigger capability is wonderful, so you don't have to cut every single one of those off. But as they get a little bit bigger, you very likely may have to. If you feed something like this in here, it's possible it could get bound up. This has a lot of power, the feed has power, so it'll probably break the branch before it gets bound up. But if you have much larger branches, say this one here that's about 6 inches around, and then you have a big nub coming off, it likely won't break that nub. And that's where taking a small chainsaw and shearing those off before you feed them in is handy. So One last feature on here is this bar here, which is basically going to raise the entire roller system up and down. So if you get stuff bound in there, or you just can't get something underneath to get that roller system to grab a hold of it, go ahead and pull this bar down, and that's basically going to raise the roller to allow stuff to get underneath so that the wheel can grab a hold of it. Very handy, use this a lot. And just be advised, sometimes as the machine is feeding, this may bounce back and forth. So don't get your head up too close underneath here. You wouldn't want it to just come back and land on you and bonk you in the head. That's about it for basic operation. Real quick, we reviewed it in the Kioti tractor section, but engagement of the PTO, you're going to want the tractor parked with the parking brake on, and then we're going to depress the clutch pedal. Tractor's at idle. PTO lever here, we're going to pull this to the side and then pull it forward. That will engage the PTO shaft when you let the clutch out. So now the machine will be at idle, the PTO will be engaged, the clutch will be out, and the PTO will begin turning. When that begins turning, you're going to hear the hydraulic system start working on the wood chipper in the back. So now you can go ahead and raise the RPM until you get to the 540 RPM symbol on here. Sorry, it's been snowing, which is about 2,400 RPM. So power that guy up, and then as you come back to the machine, you're ready to start wood chipping. Adjust the feed speed in advance, and then when you're ready, go ahead and turn that to the forward mode. So it's going to be back towards you, is going to be feeding branches forward. And at that point, we'll start another video here and start chipping some branches so you can see how that goes.